I got two hands, I got my mouth, I know how to earn money.
She absolutely does. She doesn't miss a trick. Boom, ba-dum, bum. Boom, ba-dum, bum, bum. Okay, there's such thing as the Dave Phelps Diaries. Well, that's my line. Made it up. Dave Phelps Diaries. What are the odds and chances that ever since Dave Phelps' heyday with the Triple R, that he is still all this time been on YouTube? What are the odds? I say the odds are pretty good. I think that he's never left. I'm bored already. Ah, no, that's just me yawning. Whether I'm yawning because I'm tired or yawning from this whole ordeal, but here's the skinny Dave Phelps, according to Discord, is preparing notes with the said daughter of popular YouTuber Frank Battaglia to present some kind of a, well, fictitious dialogue, which is all it would be if that was the case. Has he ever really been gone from YouTube? No, he hasn't, actually. I've always said that. He just doesn't come under his own name, but he has a lot of troll accounts. That's where that's at. Now, I never thought he was, never ever thought he was gone from YouTube. No, never had to think about it. I do believe he has a lot of stock accounts, and he could be the very person behind the copycat channel. I would not be surprised. There's been word on the street that that is Dave Grrr himself. No, no. Old nemesis never die on YouTube. They just hide in the dark shadows under different names. So I've been getting an email from some Jamoke saying that they're talking about on another platform, Discord, that Dave Phelps is in touch with my lovely daughter uh, and preparing some kind of a text dialogue or something. In other words, a daddy dearest video. That's what I've been told. Well, let's examine this for a second. I don't know how they would ever be able to be in touch with my lovely daughter unless she has actually reached out to other YouTubers, which, well, wouldn't surprise me knowing the nature of the beast, but I'm still very doubtful. She has her own problems to deal with and getting more involved. Well, then again, you never know. Sometimes I have to bite my tongue on this one because sometimes the water goes deep with issues between parent and child, deep, dark issues, unresolved issues that sometimes they gotta lash out. But I still don't believe there's any real dialogue going on between Dave Phelps and my lovely estranged daughter. I'm not buying that. Same thing that went back to Nika. They created a bunch of false text and they used her icon on there to make believe it was Nika and it never was Nika. That's easily done. Even me, who is always technically and technology incorrect, okay, could do something like that very easily without a problem. Okay. Oh, no. well, no, Kevin had a heat stroke, is what he had when he had to go cross borders to go do his visa from Thailand to, I don't know, Cambodia or somewhere. I don't know. No. But then the word on the street, and the gossip is going around like crazy, is that Ricky, kicked the bucket or something to that effect. But I've heard no chatter about that at all. Not that that's an impossible thing to happen with him. It's more inevitable, but nah. Like anything else on here, there's no proof of anything. Ricky just, was taking a break. Maybe his girlfriend went back home, whatever. I don't know. Now, you can't listen to the trolls on here. Ricky just happened not be on for a couple of days. Even Ricky takes a break. He got to line up his new action, before he gets on camera again. But no, I don't think Ricky kicked the bucket. That was something that was sent to me. Of course, everything emanating from the famous Discord, the ground zero of all operations. No, but no, Kevin. I say it was a serious heat stroke. Yeah. He said he was healthy and there's nothing wrong with his heart and everything else, but, that was an indicator of his weight and heart having to, work extra hard when you're under, 3 hours of waiting outside in horrendous heat. And that's what happens. Hell, I've had a couple of incidents with shit like that. I remember standing out, having to wait in line for an ATM or something, and it was really hot and humid, and I started to feel really weird, getting lightheaded. My pulse was getting higher, and I told my girlfriend, "No, let's go home." And I cooled off and hydrated, and I was fine. Another incident, I was getting my hair cut in Ayala Mall. Well, I actually blacked out shortly from dehydration. So yeah, it's very real out here, and people don't take it as seriously as they really should, and I think they should. But to each his own. They have to find out on their own. All right, let's get the update here. Then I gotta get off. I'm not doing no long fucking videos on here. It's ridiculous. A lot of chumps out there trying to pass off false information to create controversy and so forth, which is nothing new about that. So supposedly, there's this deep, dark conversation going on between Dave Phelps and my lovely daughter. My daughter's capable of a lot of things, but I don't think my daughter, on that deeper level, would get involved in it. I would not be surprised if she was a troll on here. I mean, nothing surprises me, but I don't see how it's even possible to contact my daughter. And her Facebook, she wouldn't go under her regular name. She wouldn't. There's a lot of bugaboos involved with that, which makes me not believe anything. I got a guy that writes me and says that, oh yeah, Discord, that all the buzz. Well, I don't know about all the buzz, but supposedly there's this video being planned. It's a tell-all video from Frank's lovely daughter. What's there to tell? What is there to tell? I think I told it all. Even if there was something like that, I already told it all. You know, told it all. And unless my daughter, and it's a real thing, and she's so fucking pissed at me. Don't forget, my daughter, she got mad at her husband once, and just she was driving him crazy. He put his fist through the plaster wall. He was so frustrated. And she got mad at him once. His motorcycle was parked in front of the apartment complex at the time, and she took the car and she rammed the car into his motorcycle. So, does that say anything about her disposition? Well, there you go. That's just the surface. That's just the surface. Let's see. I always thought Dave was still out there, so it must be on Discord. Dave has always been out there. Dave never went anywhere. You don't know him by his name on YouTube. He is, I'm sure, a frequent commenter on any shows having to do with me. He goes under different sock account names. I don't know why Dave just doesn't come on as his name and say what he has to say if he has a problem. I don't know what he's hiding from. I guess he wants to be stealth. I have no clue. So just to clarify, Mr. Ed, no, Kevin had a heat stroke. He didn't have a regular, well, stroke. You know, could have turned it, but All right, where else are we going to leave off here? Sorry about the yawning. I got up early and I went back to sleep again, and I'm still tired. So the guy who's been writing me in reference to all this, but look, your stuff is going to go to spam. Okay, I need to change my email address permanently and just use my Google account, my Google email, like yeah, my Gmail. Let's see. Problem with that is though, I got certain things tied to my email. I gotta see how I do this. um, let's see. Yeah, I got certain things tied to that email address, even back to Hawaii. That's. I don't know if I can get rid and totally get rid of my Yahoo email account. I was thinking of doing that, but mm, that is a communication between some old people I know, but they wouldn't know my Yahoo account. They wouldn't be able to contact me if it was gone. So may have to leave it up. It just sends the trolls to spam who was trying to write me. Seems everybody's trying to inform me about something. Discord is saying this and Discord is saying that and Discord is saying this. I'm not really interested, okay? Unless I tell you I'm interested. And if I'm not, then even Timmy still writes me, this crazy guy who was like a supporter of Barry, who got niffed by Barry. He's like goes back and forth over the fence constantly. I don't know what he looks like, anything about him. He must have strong legs. But Timmy even sends me suggestions for movies. It's like I was his friend or something. I told you, we got some bizarre psychology on here. Timmy is a troll. But then sometimes after attacking me, he tries to act like he's a friend. Oh, you should see this movie. I think it was a good one. And I'm thinking, wow, damn. What am I dealing with out here? What am I dealing with? This Timmy guy's no friend of mine. And I tell him straight off, stop writing. I said, I'm just going to put you to spam. But, he used to write me a lot, trying to get me to drop a case against Barry and all that. He used to even try to intimidate me many times. Then in the middle of the stream, he'll just kind of like, middle of the river, he'll say, yo, yeah, you're right about Barry. And defend me. And then he'll even send me a movie. Hey, I watched this movie last night. I'm not this guy's friend. That's the bizarro world here. I'm not this guy's friend. I don't care about his suggestions for a movie or something like that. I don't know. I'm telling you, dealing with, in all reality, I should be off this fucking, crazy farm that we call YouTube. In all reality, because what's out there is scary. I mean, we're not just talking borderline personality problems here. We're talking some deep shit. And I see these people that want to start a YouTube channel are so excited about it. It's going to be so wonderful. And, we're going to talk about lovely things. Hello, all you lovely people. But then, then shit catches up with them. I mean, look at the personalities on here. We got that, what's that guy? Jim with the muscles, and he's got his wife, what's her name? Dexel. I mean, he basically tears her apart on a video being rude to her. He was out drunk at night walking in front of her. You've seen that video. Treating his wife total shit and disrespect. And she's at the point of, she's photographing this, right? And And he's talking about if there was divorce, it would be divorce or something going on. Because, you would think that, I mean, she's talking about how horribly this guy, how he disrespects her, right? And this is a Dexel speaking about her own husband, right? And then the next day, in the next video, they're out having breakfast. Everything is normal. They got the kid there. He's visiting the Philippines. Everything is wonderful. They're in a store. And, oh, my wife, Dexel, her and I, we went to. It's like nothing ever happened. He said the most horrible things, even pushed her, I guess, and has the most horrendous relationship. But yet, there they are in the next show, next episode. Oh, me and Dexel, we just got back from so and so, and like nothing ever happened. Like nothing ever happened. This is what we're dealing with on here. And this guy is a guy who pissed off some of his neighbors. Now he has to go to court this week on a trial or something. A guy who can't control his temper, especially when he's, you know, drinking, and he does this binge drinking shit. God, we all have all types. I say that all the time, don't I? And I don't stop on that because I really mean it. I said, we have all types on here. Don C., professional businessman who spends more time waiting for me to do a show on here so he could comment. He sets his bells. It's in the CR of his house. It's in the yard. If I come on, like he can't miss a show. The busy so-called successful businessman who works in his computer still, running some companies, and is married. I guess she's Filipino. He's living in Thailand though, but I'm assuming she's Filipino. Uh, Never talks about her. Never mentions anything good about her. Never acknowledges her, but he spends more time on YouTube obsessed with me than he does, as far as spending time with his wifey poo. I'll say it again. We have all types out here, man. The psychology it can be scary. The truth is, why am I on here? Am I kind of getting off on this shit or something? Or is this like watching a interesting drama movie on TV that you get really involved with, and you got to see the rest of it? Or it's a series, and once you start, the beginning of the series, you got to finish it because, well, after all, you spent so much time watching each episode, and you'll be damned if you're not going to watch the episodes, till the end. So maybe that's what's going on with me. The never-ending episodes on here. And maybe that's what's going on with other people too, where they make your life their life, which is kind of scary and kind of bizarre and psychologically challenging or suspicious when someone spends that much time devoted to a particular YouTuber. It's like, damn, damn. Yeah, it gets this bizarro world, man. So to the guy who's been writing me and give me all this Discord shit, just look, you're going to go to the spam folder, okay? I'm really not interested in what's going on in Discord and what they're saying. Anything that might be in so-called involving my daughter, I highly doubt. It's not impossible, but I highly doubt it. And it's just like with Nika, and they made up all this text dialogue like it was her saying bad things about me, and they even used her icon. Even I, technically challenged, can do that very easily. And I am technically challenged on here. I don't do no editing, nothing. You know, I can't even do a split screen. I mean, I can't even do any of that shit. But I could easily text something and write something and check my spelling for errors and easily put together some phony dialogue between me and somebody else. That's not hard to do. So as far as my daughter getting invited, and by the way, I send her, don't matter whether she acknowledges or not, I send her some of this nonsense going on YouTube. I send her this shit. I send her this. Yeah, I will send her some of my shows if I've been talking about her. I don't hide nothing from her. If she has something to say about it, she could always write and say, hey, I never said that. I never did that. I never said you were a bad parent. It's all trolls doing it. Well, defend yourself then. Defend yourself. The trolls are saying that you're in touch with Dave Phelps and, you're getting this Dear Daddy, what is it? What do they call it? Daddy Dearest files or diary or something like that. Daddy Dearest. Yes, I am a very dear daddy, but let me tell you something right off the bat. If my daughter was actually ever involved with any troll activity, and I knew that as a fact, and if she ever came on and did a daddy dearest thing, I mean a real daddy dearest thing with a bunch of nonsense and bullshit, oh, then believe me, there would be no want or need for any reconciliation of any sort at all. And then it would force me to do a tell all myself of something she don't want me to put out. Yeah. So I'm just saying if that was to happen and she was really in touch with somebody, ah, daughter or not, blood is blood. It ain't thicker than water as you think it is. I'd come back with some very interesting material on her, is what I do. Oh, believe me, I would. If anybody's to tell the story, it's me, her daddy dearest. And believe me, I would. Because we're not in a great relationship situation. If she ever went that far to do something like that and made up a bunch of shit about me to make me look bad, just a kind of a get even type of thing. I don't get even with what, I don't know, but whatever. I don't control her psychology, and I think that's part of the problem why we don't communicate is, you know, I'm no psychoanalyst, and whatever she's suffering, I mean, she has to seek help for, and I can't help her, give her all the advice in the world. She never took it, so what am I supposed to do? But I've been down this road before on this conversation about being non-cooperative with advice and all that stuff. There's nothing more I could do. I mean, if it is what it is what it is. I don't. Sometimes I get to a point where I don't really. Sometimes I don't give a rat's ass anymore. I've got my own cross to bear. Cross to bear. You know, things to deal with. Then I have to deal with it in a estranged daughter. Light one up, buddy. I don't know what's going on in her life. For all I know, she could be smoking and drinking and whatever. I haven't been in touch. Possible. Anything is possible. Oh, beautiful morning sun. It looks like I'm off to Cebu tomorrow. The lovely Cebu, some unfinished business I have to take care of. What's what Dave is still? Well, yeah, Dave has always been out there. Hello, copycat. I gotta put my shout out to copycat, shout out to Dave Phelps. Dave has been there in spirit the whole time, folks. Not just in spirit, but he's been under sock account names. And some of the you might even be familiar with, not knowing it's Uncle Dave, Kuya Dave. Don't forget, his life was part of the drama on YouTube. He was heavily invested in YouTube. And what makes you think that Dave Phelps is just going to get off YouTube? Anyway, I got to go figure out something for breakfast here, ladies and germs. But as far as all this nonsense going on, that there's big plots going on, the daddy dearest thing going on called the daddy dearest letters or communication with Dave Phelps to be presented, upcoming to be presented. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I would know whether any from my daughter or not because I know the way she talks. I mean, we have written each other before. And I could raise her. I know how she talks, and I could tell you one, two, three, whether that is coming from my daughter's mouth or writing or anything like that, very easily. No one, and I mean no one, including ex-husbands of hers, boyfriends, etc., know her the way I know her. Now, who she is today, that's a different story. They may know her differently because I have not been in touch with her, and I don't know everything that has transpired in her life since we've been kind of estranged. I have no idea, no clue the transgression of her psychology or anything else going on with her. I have no clue whether she has health conditions. I have no clue whether her present third relationship is working out even after having yet a new child, number five. I have no clue. I don't know what's happening with my other grandchildren. I have no clue. I only know what I know. Some of the challenges they were facing in the past, that I could say, with some very interesting stuff going on with them. Some very clear idiosyncrasies in their life as it might relate to their mother. I don't know. I don't know. I could come up with a whole bunch of shit on here. I could lie as much as a troll lies, but I just present facts as they are, as I know them and remember them. And there's nobody that knows anybody unless you're the father of a child. And I know my daughter inside and out. And who she is today, who she's become, I do not know. How would I know? Because I'm really not in touch. I got somebody here texting me. I have to go. Besides finishing my cup of tea. Now, if anybody else wants to add anything before I go, please add. I'll give you a couple of minutes while I'm sipping on my tea that's cooling off. We got to stop meeting like this, folks. As YouTube turns, the saga, the soap opera goes on. But Kevin hasn't been on. I think he's been taking care of himself, and Ricky hasn't been on. So, in regards to Ricardo, Mr. Richard Jarrett, I'm sure he'll be on. Ricky is a bull. Ricky has survived many incidences with his high blood pressure and so forth, and as I said, one day will kick in pretty harshly. But as far as proof that Ricky kicked the bucket, no, I'm not buying it. Not yet, anyway. I'm sorry, but I'm one of these people that likes to see proof. I don't go by what people are just talking about. The hearsay, the chatter, back and forth chatter that's going on Discord. I don't buy into that at all. When I finish my cup of tea, we'll get off here. I'll give my viewers a chance if they want to say something in regards to some matter. Now's your chance. I always give my viewers chances. We got at least one thumbs up on there. Hey, that's something. Yeah, it looks like back to Cebu tomorrow. My goodness. A lot of things happening behind the scenes that I don't talk about. As I told you, I'm not giving out all information about anything. I will refrain from certain things these days. I really should get back to that text. I have a Facebook Messenger deal going on here on the screen. I don't think you could see that when I see that. I have an icon from somebody here, and although it appears to me, I wonder if that appears to you on there too. I don't know how that works. I told you, I'm technically challenged. I don't understand how a lot of these things work. If somebody's texting me on Messenger and I'm doing a live show, they're going to be able to see their icon. Hey, here's their icon. Can you guys see this? I don't know. I'm just going to finish my tea here, and then we'll kind of move on with my morning here. But the bottom line is don't believe everything you hear. And people are very creative on here. They can create a text and supposedly from somebody they claim it's for, and it's really not. I don't think on one level my daughter likes to get too involved with something unless she's really ticked off, you know, and she'll run her van and she'll run her vehicle against your motorcycle anytime if she gets pissed off, believe me. Well, she has a temperament greater than mine would ever be. I can tell you that. So is it possible she'll talk shit about me for real? Anything's possible with her. But I will tell you, if there really was some actual true communication and it was a daddy dearest thing going on, then my hands would be absolutely washed with her. If she came on somewhere and it was really her and she was texting Dave Phelps or something, giving an expose, her version of what our relationship was like, if she did something like that for real, oh yeah, my hands are washed. My hands would be totally washed. Which don't matter because my life goes on without the communication my daughter would anyway. People can choose to be in your life or want. They don't have to be your child. They could be a friend. They could be your peers. It's just the way it is. Life goes on with or without them in your life. And, you know, no matter what the situation is or, you know, what happened, what really happened, well, I pretty much laid it out. This past few days, I pretty much laid it out. I just laid it right out. What really was transpiring. I didn't give the whole story, but I'm willing to give it. If she indeed ever did some kind of daddy dearest, I love to call it that. That's what they refer to it as, a daddy dearest thing with Dave Phelps. Oh, I'd lay it out. Oh boy, I'd lay it out. And I don't think she'd like to hear it on YouTube. I've refrained from giving out the rest of the information with her. I refrained. I tried to show a little respect for her, you know, in light of, you know, what's been going on. But one can only hold back so far, blood or not. If someone's going to get down and dirty, then I have to get down and dirty. But the difference is I'll tell the truth. I'm not going to make something up to try to get the best of the other person, related or not, you know. Okay, any other comments before I go here? Now's your opportunity. I gotta find something to eat around this place. Getting tired of oatmeal. I have my eggs and all that stuff, but I always wind up having my oatmeal and throw something in it like strawberries or cinnamon or whatever, which is healthy, by the way, for the most part. For the most part, it's healthy, but sometimes too much grains is a little too much, if you know what I mean. Examine that statement. You might understand what I mean about too much grains. Believe me, I'm giving the cows across the field a little competition in the methane department. Once you eat too many grains and beans and all that stuff, it's all good for you, protein and fiber and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, the afterburner effect, you know. And what is this about Rampage Jackson defending Vitali? I'm hearing this stuff now. Rampage Jackson getting involved in this somehow? Rampage Jackson, the UFC martial artist guy, Rampage Jackson. Is he supposed to be on the defense of Vitali? I don't know what's going on with that. Rampage, how does he come into the picture? Oh, there's something about he attended a party in the Philippines. I went to his page, you know, Rampage has something going on in social media. And he got invited to the Philippines at some point, where they told him there's going to be like 230 Filipino women at this party. It's going to be a wild party, which supposedly Rampage Jackson himself the UFC martial artist supposedly was going to attend or did attend. They're saying something interesting about Japanese women. Don't buy them a dog and don't have a child with them. Well, I guess the background on this is that, what is it? 30% of, of Japanese women don't want to get married and have children. They even said don't even give your Japanese partner a dog or a kid, because then you're in for big trouble. I got to examine that one. He was doing an interview with, what's his name? Commentator, UFC guy. Forgot his name, but I think that's where I seen it on. And Japanese women, because the workforce has been reduced because by 30% or something like that. That's a big figure. And Japan is worried about future workers to carry on the industries and so forth. And this has been going on for a while, actually. And they need the workforce, the future workforce. And a lot of Japanese women are now refusing to have children or get married. Yeah, I've been hearing this for a while. This is not new. The workforce is down and they're encouraging. There was even in the past, and this is a long time ago, this must be going on for a long time, that they've actually encouraged Japanese women and gave them financial incentives to get married and have children. Apparently that didn't catch on. They're very career oriented. So I guess that's what's going on with that. So Japan is facing a bleak industry because of the birth rate has gone very much down for Japanese children, and people are choosing career over marriage and children. Well, that's a good thing in a way. We don't need the extra population, but in another way, it's bad because Japan needs the future workforce. They need more children being born, and when this comes to a halt or drastically reduced as it is, that does create a future problem. I can understand that. But how do you really look at this? I don't know. Anyway, with all being said, I got to get back to my text. Thank you very much for listening. Good morning to you all. Are you enjoying the insanity of YouTube? Where has it brought you? That should be another question to ask yourself. How far do you like to see the gossip going on here? The juicy stories, the belly of the beast. How does that turn you on, folks? Well, the true Hollywood story is still yet to come out. I'm just waiting. If my daughter did indeed, which I highly doubt she was going to get involved with the trolls on here, but let's just be devil's advocate or something here. Say she did, and she talked a lot of bullshit about me. Well, I'd have to strike back, unfortunately, and not in a nice way, and tell a few more interesting stories about certain things that has happened with her. And I don't want to have to reveal the true Hollywood story on this, but if push came to shove, I would, believe me. After all, she's been estranged in my life for a number of years. And if her psychology has gotten that bad to do a daddy dearest on Uncle Frank here, well, there ain't no stopping me at that point. Then it's over, it's done, it's gone, hands washed very thoroughly and meticulously. That's where I stand. For those of you who are fathers, happy Father's Day to you. Doesn't mean blood. Your dogs could be your children. Your audience could be your children. and you are a father to such. Happy Father's Day to all fathers out there. Happy, happy, happy. Okay, recap. Oh, it moves on and on. Okay, now the rumors are, and I just did a short, and the rumor mongering says that Ricky took a Viagra witnessed by his girlfriend earlier, then proceeded to mount her and collapsed on top of her. Now, how crushed she was from this, I really don't know. Did she have to go to the hospital? I don't really know. But if you're buying this story, I got a lot more for you. Sorry, guys, but I need proof with editing. I got people writing me left and right. I got to stop doing this. You know, supposedly she called up Brevis's girlfriend to let her know, to let Brevis know. So supposedly that the apple of his eye is friends with Brevis's girlfriend. That's the story, Jerry. That's the story. That's the story. True Hollywood story or not. Let's see, how many other rumors are flying around these days? There's always something flying around somewhere, like flying monkeys. Like flying monkeys. Ricky'll have a show on before you know it. Before you know it. So, is it impossible for that to happen with Ricky? Oh, absolutely not in his condition. Of course, we don't wish that on anybody, even Ricky. I want to make this abundantly clear. I'm not like some of the trolls. I'm not wishing death on anybody. It's just too final. You got to pay the price while you are alive. Not when you're dead, really. I believe that hell could be your present life right now. And sometimes you have to pay the price of the things that you do. Some person I know knows it very well. But don't buy everything you hear. Don't buy everything you hear. Just listen to Rod, Amazing Philippines. You could buy his stories. I don't know many people I could believe on here. I really don't. You know, but the rumor mongers, which keeps people going on here. I mean, it just keeps them excited and gives them something to look forward to. And oh my goodness, do I have it on here? I'm telling you, I just saw a very recent picture of, no, it's not on here, that was sent to me of Don C. And oh my God, it's the most current picture you could find of him. Now, Don C is supposed to be a little bit younger than me. I guess is the story. I looked at this picture and I said, no fucking way. This guy, realistic, and no, put all the bullshit aside. This guy looks about 10 years older than me, and he's supposed to be a little younger than me. I saw this picture in great detail. There were pictures of him and his girlfriend and their foo-foo dog. And it was the most current pictures that I guess was taken off his Facebook. And I'm going to tell you, this guy is not just whited out with gray and silver, but his whole face is the face of an 80-year-old. Talk about people that don't age very well. Don did not age very well. He didn't at all. That was the most recent I've seen of his. And I thought his older pictures he looked bad, but Don, I got to tell you, man, Mother Nature's not doing very well with you, sir. Only wish you well, Don. Of course you know that. Wish you well and your girlfriend or wife or whatever she is. I haven't established that yet. You know, I don't know anything about her, and I will not say anything about her at all, Don. I'm not you. She looks like a nice gal, and I'm not going to attack her because she's with you. I would say she has bad taste, and there has to be a reason she's with you, but, you know, we'll dispel with that. Well, you looking old, bro. I'm telling you, are looking old, bro. I mean, you are looking old, bro. Well, good morning and happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. It's really nice when you'll have your girlfriend's children who recognize you as a, well, sort of stepfather to acknowledge Father's Day to you when your own child won't even do that. Says a hell of a lot. It really does. And that always means a lot to me. And people take fatherhood very seriously. I had written to one of my lawyers and I wished him a happy Father's Day. And he wrote back and said, hey, man, that means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Those are his words. And when it comes to children, people are very sensitive about that. And out here in the Philippines, they also take their families very seriously. And they do, as a family unit. I'm thinking, with everything that's going on, and there's going to be a war between Iran and Israel, and the United States is going to get involved at some point. There's so much unrest going on, and this takes us back to the COVID days. I think a lot of people went through a lot of changes during COVID when their freedom was restricted and people just, they were frustrated. I think people took out their frustrations on just about everything, being cooped up in the house and so forth. I think it really took its toll psychologically on a lot of people. There's a lot of unrest out there. There's even concern about the shots that were given to people, whether or not in the future it's going to affect their health. People are still concerned about that. So there's a lot going on. I think people are just frustrated with life in general, with their finances, with the economy, inflation, and all that. I think it's affected a hell of a lot of people. This should have been an upload actually, but I did it live. And I think, and it does go back, and a contributing factor is going to be the COVID, several years of under the ruling of the government with COVID. And a lot of things have changed too because, you know, Thailand is losing tourism because they're messing around with their immigration rules. And Philippines was a very attractive place because they had up to 6 months of visa. And now, not too long ago, they reduced it down to 2 months. And that's affecting people. Then all the POGO workers being transported out of this country is definitely affecting the economy of the Philippines. It's no longer like on the list of one of the best places to visit or live. I think it's been off that list for a while. Thailand is having a lot of trouble with tourism, and they're kind of messing with their immigration rules a lot too, making it less attractive for people to go to Thailand too. I don't know what's going on, really. I think people are just frustrated with everything in life. Nobody's happy about something, and everybody's got an issue about something going on. Life apparently ain't perfect for everybody. And everybody, not meaning just people on you, going to be any jobs, or everything's going to be automated, or AI, or whatever, you know, whether it's our own survival with the environment and whatnot. People are uncertain. The Japanese don't want to have babies anymore. They don't want to get married. That's affecting that country. I mentioned that on another show. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I think people generally are just not very happy. They're not very happy. You see it, you feel it, you hear it. It's what people even talk about on their YouTube shows. They're trying to justify your life in the Philippines. They're trying to justify their life, period. They're trying to justify something to make themselves feel better about their situation, which is not always good and not always what they put out there for you to see or hear or try to make you believe. Everybody's got issues and tissues apparently out there. It's how far somebody takes it, which is the difference, you know. Philippines is slowly becoming a lesser place for people wanting to visit, and for numerous reasons, and not just including inflation. But it's when the immigration does a big doozy on you and, gave you this privilege of earning, up to 6 months stay. And then reducing it when they did to 2 months, that did not help the economy in any form or way. I just don't think it helped or is actually helping. So a lot of people, and plus everything that's put out on YouTube about the Philippines, and there's a lot of negative stuff being put out about the Philippines. And people are hearing this, and I'll see their comments on people's shows. Yeah, I changed my mind about moving to the Philippines. I'm going to go to whatever. And they're changing their mind about coming out here. But look at all the lunatics that have been brought out here. I mean, you can't blame some people really for thinking that way. Just listen to these YouTube shows of fighting that's going on, and all the negative press that people give to people that maybe intend to move out here, and they're listening to these people fighting with each other and saying very horrible things about the Philippines, which is a country that maybe these people wanted to try out, kick the tires a little bit. But I think a lot of people are changing their mind on this here. I'm hearing it all the time. All the time, meaning when I tune in on other channels that maybe you're not aware of, but I don't tell you all the channels I listen to, but I'm hearing this quite often. And even with the more popular vloggers, the chatter on there is pretty much the same. The do's and don'ts of being in the Philippines, the whys and ifs and buts, and the reasons why people are. Well, I got a thumbs up, believe it or not. And the reason why people are thinking twice about coming here to the Philippines or even starting a YouTube channel. That's a good one there. Well, yes, it is Father's Day, and I have acknowledgement from my girlfriend's children, which I regard as my stepkids. And you got to understand the two of them, especially, that's been living here, been with me for 9 years. 9 years. They spend more time with me than their blood father. So you don't have to be blood to be a father to some children. And it's really nice when people, well, not even your own kid is going to acknowledge your birthday recently for me and not going to acknowledge Father's Day for me. It's like, oh well, but I do have a family right here that acknowledges my birthday, that acknowledges Father's Day. And that's good to hear, and it's good to have. You could always replace a family. Can't replace the blood, but you could always replace a family. Anybody could do that at any given time. And what is a family? A family is a lot of things. It's not just being blood. A family could be your dogs, and my dogs are my family too. They're not my blood, obviously. They're canine. You could have a pet cockroach. You have to ask Barry about that one. But that could be your best friend. That could be your family. Joking around, of course, like that on Barry, but you never know. But I just see people kind of backing off a little bit on YouTube, and the ones that stay on, some of them on a roll, they're getting some subscribers, are very happy with it, they're making a little bit more money, and that's kind of what's keeping them going. I noticed that. Hello, Counterflow. Good morning, good whatever time it is. No, not 9:50. Are you kidding? No, what time is it? I don't know. It's 11:02. Okay, getting close to lunch. Yeah, I just, I'm kind of like a fly on the wall sometimes, and I'll listen in. And the things that I'm hearing as far as the content of their shows, I mean, even Philippine Antics, what a great example that is. I mean, you got two people married, two very different people in many ways that just don't get along with each other. One is a loud mouth and, basically says, that's me, who I am. George could take it or he could not. George oh, I don't know, henpecked by her, and he has his own opinion. He'll go quiet. He'll go to the relatives. Won't leave her. He'll leave her. I mean, it's not a. It's like Jim and Dexel, and all this relationships that are not even real. I mean, there's relationships out here where the guy puts so much crap on his wife, and then the next day it's like everything is just wonderful. And I'm thinking, what's with that? you know, and where people maybe need each other financially or whatever. And maybe that's why Dexel goes back to Jim. She knows he's not the right man for her, and he abuses her verbally, and maybe, I don't know, other ways. I could say verbally for sure. I can only speculate on the rest of it, but yeah. Counterflow says Philippines antics. That's typical USA woman. Just terrible. Am I? Yeah, it's a Karen. She's a Karen. You could not live with a Karen. You could not live with a Karen. Oh yeah, take your Filipina to America. She'll become a Karen. That's the other mistake that they're making too. Counterflow. Yeah. Anyway, I've been making a lot of observations lately, which is gearing my decisions and my direction on here. It's been for years, but I think it's been building up now to to a big festering head. And basically, yeah, I don't know even the future of YouTube itself, whether it's, well, they're making money. YouTube is making money. And I don't think they're exactly going to get rid of YouTube that easily. But I think as people become more volatile, more people complain to YouTube, and they begin to realize that this format, and other people too, that they're going to TikTok, but I think they disengaged TikTok in America at the moment, or maybe that was old news. I don't know what's going on with that, but no matter what platform you're on, there seems to be a lot of trouble, or people having a lot of troubles, no matter what social platform you're on. And it's not the social platform itself; it's the people. It's people who are just not happy with their lives. And God dang it, I gotta tell you, I've been seeing more and more of it on here. I mean, more and more. And it's actually, it's more stressful for me to listen to this shit than it is to deal with my local trolls or whatever, that are always devoting their channels to me and all that stuff. That's more irritating than stressful, but nevertheless, on some level. It's not reducing, and you're seeing more and more shows just being very negative, not just about the Philippines, but very negative on their shows. God, I was re-looking at that picture of Don C. I just showed my girlfriend this, and I asked her, I said, how old do you think he is? Well, the first question actually was, do I look younger than this guy? She said, yes. Well, she asked me, well, how old is he? I said, I think he's a year or two younger than me, which she found to be a surprise because she thought he was somewhere around 80 years old. People are just not taking good care of themselves. And the rumor mongers are just flying like monkeys. Flying monkeys. Man, the rumors are going around like crazy. If you haven't noticed. You know what? As far as my technical expertise, I was trying to find a way to delete my fucking channel this morning, and I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that. I'm serious. I had figured I had enough of this shit, man, to last me a lifetime. And I couldn't find on my phone. It would be different if I was on the computer, but my computer is kind of sort of defunct. But I was actually in that mode this morning of just deleting the whole fucking channel. And I couldn't even find, and I went through it to try to find. I mean, I've done this before, at least put the channel on hide. Couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do that. Yeah. Couldn't even find a way to do that. That's how technically challenged I am. Serious shit. It was, and not toward me, but there's just too much negativity on YouTube, man. I tell you what, I could put a little digital device on my finger that measures oxygen and heart rate, and I'll tell you what, oxygen fine, but if I listen to a stressful channel like people bitching about the Philippines or some shit, and I'll do notice my heart rate will go up a few points, that's for damn sure. I just figure if you have nothing good to say, then don't say anything. Well, that's my theory, but for those to practice that, that's nearly impossible. It's what makes up their shows, after all. But boy, I'm telling you, when you think you heard it all, you haven't. Not on YouTube. Ricky right now is probably having a big old fucking lunch somewhere. He's not dead. Maybe wishful thinking to some people on here, but I don't see any merit in Ricky at all. But I don't even wish Ricky to die. I'm not as cold as these assholes on here, you know. Not that cold, buddy, let me tell you. But as I said, I'm not in control of their lives. They're going to do what they do, and I'll do what I do. That's all I can tell you. Let's see, who turned 71 today also? Well, not today, but oh, that big mouth Mike's experience, whatever the fuck his name is, with his wife, Jane, or no, whatever. Big Mouth who's doing a live now, whatever, or was doing a live. He's just turned 71. Never takes off his hat, though. When he did, you can see he's losing all his hair. So what do they all have in common? They're balding and they're overweight. All right, there you go. That's what they have in common on here. I can at least say that neither of that is happening to me, and I'll guarantee you that. No, that's not happening to me. But, there's a lot of factors that'll determine my longevity here, not in life, but actually on YouTube. But when you're doing the same shit over and over again, and it becomes very redundant, and it becomes extremely redundant for me too. Believe me, it takes the stress on me doing a show on here and then, having 10 listeners or something on here. Because sometimes you can come on too often, and they just figure, well, I could go to the copycat channel and listen to there. Frank's probably going to take his show off and all that. God bless them is all I could say. Is what they're trying to accomplish. But what if I didn't do any shows? All they could do is rehash the old hash, and they don't really like that. I have a certain group of people that watch my show all the time, but even my numbers have been reduced because there's so much chatter going, and not just with my channel, but there's other trolls attacking other shows and a lot of negativity going on. And I think there's a great percentage of people that are tired of hearing the same shit over and over again. People insulting instead of celebrating the Philippines and why they want to come here, why they're out here, their successes of being out here, relationships, or just enjoying being in the Philippines and the culture. People have kind of geared away from that shit, and it's over and over again. I mean, if a Popeye did a show, he's going to talk about, right? It goes without saying. Of course, Don's going to come in there on a Big Kevin show, and it's the same old routine over and over again. And I think, although people enjoy the entertainment factor from that, I think at the same time they're snoring and saying, "Oh, again, Popeye. What now about Frank Popeye or Don C or somebody?" But that dude, he is looking old. That guy is an antique. He's an antique. I'd seen. I wish I had it. I could show you here, but I had a more current picture of him and his girlfriend that was sent to me on email, which I get. All my information comes on email. They're always sending me emails. Every little thing that's going on other platforms, Discord, all that, mostly. They're always sending me stuff like I give a shit. Like I really give a shit. Somebody, has a picture of Ricky dead on the bed or something or some shit like that. I mean, come on, really? They did that with Mike Kaysen. Now, who would have a picture of Ricky dead? Would his girlfriend actually take a picture like that of Ricky being? Would she have that goal to do that? Of Ricky being dead and then share it with Brevis? I mean, come on now. Seriously? But, out here in the Philippines, it is part of the culture. They do actually always display the bodies and, even photograph the bodies for Facebook or something, whatever. I mean, it's not something they do pretty regularly in the United States and some other countries, but they do that here in the Philippines quite often. It's like no shame or anything about, you know, displaying somebody's dead body. I'm actually surprised they didn't do that with Fazio, you know. So, but they've done it with other people. They sure have. Only one I can really remember is, Mike Cason. They showed him dead, which is not cool, even for his girlfriend or wife, whatever she was, to do that. Then the trolls got a hold of that shit, and then that wasn't right. Play music to it too, and to make it even better, have a musical background. I'm not going to pretend to say I understand the state of mind of people on here because it's quite complicated. And yes, I do a lot of shows, and I do realize, I have realized for a long time now that it becomes habitual, and it becomes habitual for a lot of people, including the viewers. And I don't think it's a healthy thing for me. I don't even think it's a healthy thing for my viewers. As much as I appreciate my viewers, I don't think it's something that's healthy for them. And to basically spend a lot of their time even watching these other goofy shows. Now, you've all heard their opinions about the Philippines, and you heard all the same stories of prices, of cost of living, what it takes. How many times can you listen to that shit? And it's all they do over and over again because they got to be on a roll, the algorithms and all that shit, and they got to do the show every single day. And you got these professors out there who profess to be experts on everything with the culture, everything with Filipinos, are all seasoned experts. Dudes, I've been living out here 9.5 years, whatever it's been. I always say whatever it's been because I don't really count it. I'm no expert on anything out here, really. I go by my own experience, but there's no way I'm going to proclaim that I'm an expert in any way in the Philippines because I'm really not. There's so much more to learn. There's so much intricacies with the Philippines culture that many things that I don't even know. And someone brings something up to me, and I said, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." Some practice, whether it's religious or social or whatever it might be. Yeah, it is true about Filipinos doing the what do you call thing? They just don't want to talk to you. They go into their little trance, and all that stuff. But there's a lot of truisms out there that they present. Yes, but we've heard this, time and time again. And how many shows can you actually do where you're basically saying the same thing over and over again, whether you're a troll attacking somebody or your own show where you're trying to come up with material because you talked about just about everything. When all fails, talk about a troll, right? When all fails. That's really what it's become. I still think, and even though I do it, I still think that live streaming was the worst thing that's ever happened on YouTube. Plenty and plenty historically, even now, there are people that do not do live streams or hardly do any. And their success with their channel is still good, not based on handouts for super chat and shit, but when you do a recorded show, I guess they still could send you a coffee or some kind of thanks or something like that. But they're making their money through AdSense and the viewership and so forth. And the so-called algorithms. So it's become almost a science with some people. When do you ever hear the word algorithms? And just, I got a nice little note for my lawyer. What a good guy this guy is. What a good guy. Something very encouraging. He sent me a little note, which was nice. He didn't have to do that. Yeah. But we have one guy celebrating his 71st birthday, and he's glad to reach that. And I've heard other people like Paul and other people who are around that age, are close, they you have one appreciation that, yeah, you're still alive, and then what you tell these trolls that are maybe considerably younger than you or slightly younger than you, they'd be lucky if they lived to that age. What you get with that age is wisdom, You're not going to get back all your inner strength, all the strength and physicality and all that shit, and that you had when you were a younger man and all that. Well, the prowess maybe you had, but I think knowledge is power, and I think it's what you learn through all these years, which is so valuable. I mean, extremely valuable. I've learned a hell of a lot about people in general, and I can make a pretty good assessment of what's going on in the world beyond YouTube's, which people don't see. They're too busy just ranking on each other. I mean, we're practically going into a new world war here. I think that's going to happen. We've got environmental concerns, this and that, inflation concerns, and nobody seems to give a shit about that. It's more important than to record somebody's show and replay it, or it's more important to find somebody to rag on. Yep, that's what our society is coming down to, whether you like it or not. It's here, it's happening, and it's been going on for a long time. It's just getting worse. People who try to portray themselves as having a very active life in the Philippines are truly not having a very active life in the Philippines. I don't see that. I don't sense it. I don't note that. It's all smoke and mirrors. They're doing some of the same shit I do, which is hanging around the house, doing some chores around here, watching movies. That's what retired people do, unless you're a drinker. You're out there meeting the boys and talking about the ones that got away, chugging down some cold ones. That's what they do in the Philippines. Don't buy all the stories, how active they are, and they're traversing mountains, and don't buy all that shit. Their life is so active. They're not doing anything much more than what I do. None of them are. Not really. Unless they got a motorcycle and they like riding around on it and seeing some local places outside of their town. Some of them do that. I don't see, unless you are more youthful, I just don't see anybody being as active as they claim that they are. I mean, look at Don C, for example. How could he possibly have that much time? Hey, I admit I have the time. There ain't shit to do out over here, really. I come forward with this shit. I have nothing to hide. That's henceforth probably for a lot of my YouTube shows, because unless you develop another hobby, but then you got to think, okay, a hobby over here. What will be my hobby? And not a lot of things to choose from, really, other than you do exercise, but I don't call that a hobby. I just call that just part of everyday stuff. But, what are you going to do? You're retired. You want to move to the Philippines. You're living out here. You might have a YouTube show. What are you going to do? Most of these people spend, if they don't have to do as much shows as I've done, they spend as much time listening to my show and others. Now, that's a fact. We don't even have to, rethink that. They got more time on their hands in some sense than I do. I mean, come on. I always use Don C. in Popeye as a critical point, and especially Don C., Mr. Businessman, successful man, okay? There's not a moment that he's not going to know I'm not on, that he's going to note something on my show and hand it over to the copycat channel, or if they don't have it, or whatever. What kind of life could Don C. be living in Thailand? And why is he still there? Because his girlfriend is Thai? With all the, excuse the expression, ties, that's tying him to Thailand, so that with his girlfriend. When he spends so much effort and energy on Philippines issues, there's something wrong there. I mean, there's something obviously wrong, but then again, we know there's a lot wrong with Don C. anyway. I think you guys have pretty much figured that out one way or the other. But I have to also say, and since I'm very honest, since I also see lack of dialogue with my viewers, that things are coming to an end after all. I mean, we listen to Barry how often, but we wanted to see that train wreck happen, right? That's why people listen to him, and he gathered, 40 people sometimes, maybe more. Or Big Kevin when he comes on. It's the same shit. They want to hear the train wreck news. They want to hear the info. What's going on in the troll community? What's new in the troll community? It gets really ugly. I mean, I'll guarantee you my daughter is caught up in all this drama. I almost guarantee you that. Even she probably got caught up in this shit. I would not be surprised at all. And I have a couple old friends out there that I'm pretty sure listen to my show. Terry, who now moved to Cavite. Bill, who's in Ocean Shores, Washington. I'm sure he listens all the time. There are numerous people that listen to my show. Okay, I don't know when exactly they're listening, but I know that they do. So people know of the goings on YouTube from my channel, and they make their own assessments of things like other people do. Any newbies that come in, oh, I heard this and heard that about you. Really, is that true? If it's true, if you want to believe it, you know, popular answer. But I don't know if it's just me, but I am sensing how tense people are on YouTube now. And it almost sounds like with every show, even the popular guys like Paul and then his other channels, Mike's Philippines Experience, whatever the hell his name is, I'm sensing sort of a defending themselves about living out here and trying to find reasons and rhyme why they're living out here. But at the same time, talking to the other side of the mouth, very happily bringing up all the negatives out here. So they try to balance their life with the positive and negative out here. They try to convince themselves otherwise that maybe you didn't make a mistake moving out here. Maybe you did make a mistake moving out here. I don't know what they're trying to tell themselves, really. I think some people are just hanging on to their old ladies out here. And that's why they're still out here. And if they had to do it over again, you'd ask them, they'd probably say maybe the Philippines wasn't the place for them. And a lot of people haven't explored their other options either. I know of places out there other than the Philippines would be a great place to live, but I'm living here until something changes. But I already know where I'd want to be if I couldn't be here or decided not to be here. I already know exactly where I'd be. I know where I'd be because I explore all these options all the time. And I like to also learn about some of the other cultures too. What is it like out there, compared to Philippines? Is Philippines the place to move for anybody in the future? Is it a qualifying place according to what you hear? But I think a lot more negative now is being shared about the Philippines than positive, and they're turning people away. So immigration is going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something and change it back to 6 months on the visas here to make it more attractive for people to come in here. Remember, they control what comes in on the borders. If their officers are not doing a good job, that's why the wrong people are coming in this country. Don't make it hard for people and say, I'm taking away the 6 month visa deal and reduce it down to 2 months. I don't think that's helping the economy out here. I don't think it's helping the tourism out here. Because when you add that choice after a while, like, if you wanted to live here as your intent and you want to extend those visas, well, having 6 months, that was the best deal you could get in town anywhere. But since they've reduced it, I think that's causing a domino effect on the economy out here and tourism. And keep in mind that tourism makes up a lot of the economy out here. Immigration's got to keep that in mind. And the more negative that they hear about the Philippines, the less tourists are going to come here. And everything's going to be affected, man. The PHP, the peso, the rates are tied into different things going on, which is going to be a good rate in the Philippines for foreigners to take advantage of. Or if it just shoots down, which your American dollar is not going to go very far at that ATM trying to withdraw that money. So, I don't know. There's no miracle cure for what's going on in the world. There ain't no miracle cure here on YouTube. You just have to make decisions. Who do you want to watch? Who do you want to listen to? Turn off, tune on, or just get the fuck off YouTube, period. In fact, what is happening? I really don't know. The prophecies, are they fulfilled? I don't know. I'd like to know what's going on. Okay, see, we got any viewers tonight? I sure get a few comments when I do a short. They don't come out of the woodwork. Have I become obsolete? Oh no! Tell me it ain't so. Oh me, oh my, oh. We'll hang in there a little bit here. I'm actually watching a movie, but since Gil does a couple of guests over here, I'll steal some time to do a short show here. Yes, indeed. I know who you are. That's probably... I know who that is. And a good evening. I knew it was you. uh, I had somewhat of a busy day today. Not. Well, like I said, I do keep busy. Of course, I try to throw in a few good shows on there, of course. You're the number one man on here, boy. Jesus Christ, I should make you a fucking wrench. Damn. Am I able to do that? No, I don't think so. Report, remove channel. Oh. I'm making you moderator. You're a managing moderator. Do whatever you want. Knock 'em dead. Counterflow is my moderator. And I don't give wrenches out. You know that. But for him, whoever he may really be, I'm going to give him one. Use it, with caution, of course. Of course. Well, I don't know what's going on. It seems too, I don't know, too coinky-dinky. The very people that are dropping like flies and getting heat strokes and Alzheimer's and dying and are all trolls that were against me. Too much responsibility? All right. I'll disenthrone you. I'll remove you as managing moderator. Okay. Too much responsibility. What, on my channel? Nobody comes here. This is not enough drama on here. This is not Philippines antics, No. They're all in trouble. Every one of them. I have a prediction for her too. Well, it's pretty obvious. Look, there's no magic involved here. Okay, there's no voodoo with a doll I'm putting a pin in or anything like that. It's just it's science. It's medicine. It is what it is. I mean. Heidi on Philippines Antics, well, she already told everybody she has lupus, probably diabetic, the obesity, stress with George. God, that's got to be stressful. And she stresses herself out. So, kaboom, kabam. What do you expect, really? I thought I took your wrench away, but it's still up there. My, oh my, and I don't do that. You're such a dedicated viewer. And I don't give wrenches out very easily. Man, a lot of chatter on Discord, I'm hearing this and that. People are wondering whether Ricky's dead. Yeah, the weight is bad. Are you the mechanic guy or something? I thought I seen you at a show or a YouTube channel or something. Don't have anybody on there. You like a mechanical guy or something, or something to that nature? I don't know. I thought I seen something on there. I told you many times why I like to show different topics Well, yeah, I mean, I try to introduce different things on here. I kind of intermix a lot of shit together, like make it a soup, throw everything in one pot, and hopefully you come out with a, you know, a good tasting, palatable soup. Yeah, that's all I try to do. Nothing more than that. I'm not reaching for the stars on my show. I mean, there's only 5 viewers after all. There should be a lot of viewers on at this time of night, but that's just the way it is. They got sick and tired of listening to me or whatever. Maybe I blocked them all. That might be more like it. I probably blocked them all. That's more than like it. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. That's happened in the past. My viewers disappeared and I wondered why, and it turned out they were all blocked. Well, duh, yeah, that might do it. That might actually do it. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on. I mean, I know sometimes more than you know, but less than you think. That's the best thing I can tell you. Yeah, I know you always said they always listen to my talk shows all day in the background as I go through the day. That's embarrassing to say you listen to me all day. Oh my God. That's like embarrassing in itself, which means I'm on all day doing different shows. Quite addicting, YouTube, isn't it? To listen and to actually have a show, isn't it? Yeah, I would say so. Old habits never die, I guess, until you die, you know, or they die. Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, it's uncanny. I don't know what's going on. It turns out everyone from Johnny Warrior, it goes all the way back. There was a few other idiot vloggers that died that were not necessarily trolls of mine, but the rest of them were. And they're having heat strokes. Flying Circus had a real stroke. Fazio died. One of his cronies died that always listened to Fazio's show. He was a troll. Let's see. Roberto gets Alzheimer's. I mean, and Johnny Warrior died. He was a troll of mine for quite a while. Ricky, well, I don't know really what's happening with Ricky. Can't believe what you hear all the time. He'll probably pop on there tonight or tomorrow or something. Say, hey, I'm coming back from the dead. But, you know, you just never know. Now, again, I want to put a disclaimer on here. I don't wish that on these people. But my prophecies are coming true. And, you know, I'm not Carrie. My name is Frank. It's not Carrie, you know. I have no magical powers that I know of. But the prophecies are coming true. Soon I'm not going to have any trolls to attack me anymore. Well, I don't think there's a lack of that. I don't know about that. Yeah. One can hope, but, you know. I don't know. I just take shit day by day. I don't know about you. I'm hearing a lot of reminiscing going on YouTube. People are coming of age, you know. They're one guy, Mike's Philippines, whatever the hell his name is. Him and Janet, you know, he just turned 71, my age, and, you know, talking about different shit. Well, you know, it's not like I'm counting on the clock or anything. I just face each day and see what it brings to me. I'm not at the end of the road, and I don't see it that way. Some people do, and they wish, but, you know, that's not the way it goes on in my head. To me, it's just another day. But I'm as vulnerable as anybody out there. Let's get that straight. I'm as vulnerable as you, Counterflow, and anybody else. I'm just as vulnerable to the world's horrible elements, to disease, to all that shit. I'm no Superman, and I don't claim to have any magical powers. Although I seem to have powers over all those trolls because they just love talking about me. I'm not trying to be in control of these people, but I'm sure doing, I don't know, inadvertently doing a pretty good job of getting them busy and active and talking about me and making me very relevant. That's why I told you I'm surprised I don't have like 100,000 subscribers to my show because I don't push the show, you know. That's one of the reasons. I don't push the show at all. Oh, hell's bells. I was watching this movie called Blackout, another version of it. I think there was a couple of movies by that name in the past. I'm not sure. And they don't know what the reason was. Those lights went out all everywhere, and it showed. And this is like the gang mentality, the mob mentality they have on YouTube. And this was a really interesting movie. It wasn't a great movie, but it was an interesting movie to watch because when people in this small town, especially, they didn't have refrigeration for their food, they had no lights, um, you know, communications went out. There was like I don't know if it was a worldwide or country blackout. And people were killing each other, raping other people. They were killing each other over food and out of just plainly being frustrated. You don't realize how much we depend on electricity until you actually lose it. And I know because, I'm spoiled as hell. We had a unexpected blackout the other day, and I'm grateful for my generator. But then we had a small one, still lasted for several hours, but I had no gas in the tank at all. It was after hours. So I couldn't do anything but just hope that the electricity went on, and it did. But we are dependent so much on electricity. And people just go wild in the dark. That's when it comes out. The madness comes out in the dark. What is dark? It's just an absence of light. It's not that creates the darkness within people. How does that saying go? It's the people that cause the problems. It's not the outage. Darkness is just an absence of light. But when it affects people and they get frantic, no electricity, no fans, no air conditioning, no refrigeration, you got food, and you got a supply of food that could be worth hundreds of dollars that you might lose. If you have an electric stove and don't have any other cooking methods other than propane, if your cell phones don't work because the towers are down, it creates a panic. Hello, Pennywise. Thank you, Ed, for the Father's Day. Thank you. It is a Father's Day for me. It certainly is. It certainly is. Nobody's ruining my Father's Day. That's for damn sure. It certainly is. I've been acknowledged by basically their stepchildren. And that meant a lot to me. That meant a whole lot to me. Counterflow. So with all the new data being built, the outages will be commonplace now in places that usually don't have them. Yeah. Thank you, Pennywise. Thank you all. Thank you all. What would I do without my small audience? Probably much more than I do regularly. Get off this fucking cell phone, Easier said than done, huh, boys? I think we're all in the same boat together here, aren't we? Don't want to admit it, a lot of people, but we are. We certainly are. I learn a lot from some of the shows I see, not on YouTube, I mean on TV, but the Blackout movie, for example, how people behave under these stressful situations and how they fall apart. It just brings me back also to the COVID time, several years, right? What did it go on for about almost 3 years? People were frantic, dudes. Everybody was. I mean, martial laws that were created. You can't go out. They wouldn't allow you to go to certain stores. They wouldn't even allow you in there, or you would hope that you had supplies, or you could only go out at a certain time, or they wouldn't let the children out. They even had laws that they didn't want to see seniors out. I mean, these restrictions were insane. But I have a prophecy. Oh God, not another prophecy. Please, Frank, don't say it. That was a quick pull of your spanner. Good evening, Philippines. Father Frankie. Yes, I am. That's what. Is this possibly could be? The only person who called me Father Frankie was Peter Van Dever. I wonder if you're actually Peter Van Dever. I think that could be. The only one that calls me Father Frankie. Are you PV? Frank Stradamus. Yeah, instead of Nostradamus. I don't know, folks. I got to tell you something. I'd be careful with me, you trolls, because I don't know if I have special powers. I have no idea. I have no idea. But it seems kind of strange that a lot of these people that are croaking, getting sick, and stroking, and every damn day else that's going on, and dying, and were all trolls of mine. That's kind of bizarro world to me. Oh, the pontiff's here too now. Boy, we're gathering some moss here. This stone is gathering some moss. We got 12 out here now. Right on, brothers and sisters. Yeah. There's nothing out there. You have to come here. But I don't know, man. I look at this rumor about Ricky. He hasn't been on for a week, right? Someone's saying that I don't know. Thank you. You should be happy that you're out living them. You're in good. Yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. I ain't saying I'm not the best shape. I mean, you know, not bad for my age anyway. I can be really energetic. I'm still somewhat flexible. Somewhat, you know. Things are breaking down little by little, but, we're kind of hanging in there, I think I might be around for a while, at least I hope so anyway. Yeah, I don't count the days and years, man, I'm lucky I even had a birthday celebration. I ended up having 3 because the timing of when the kids were going to be here and everything else, and so, it was all good. It's all good. Yeah. But I don't, I'm not counting off the years like some people do. I'm just happy to be alive. I'm not ready to go anywhere yet. Pennywise says, do you think these illnesses have anything to do with the C-19 vax? Even athletes are coming down with heart issues. But, Pennywise, I really don't know. I mean, it's my famous 13 out here now. I really don't know. I wouldn't put it past me. I was forced to get these vaccines at the time because I was in Hawaii, and Philippines was opening up, and it was my opportunity to get back home, which I considered my home at that time. I was living in Hawaii, and Hawaii was, was not my home anymore. But the timing was terrible. But when the Philippines opened up, I pretty much was forced to get these 2 vaccinations. And otherwise, there's no way I was going to be able to go back to the Philippines. I was adamant against it. I just didn't want to get it. So I took the chance. And I didn't know if the Philippines would close up again. So I had to go off and get those damn things, I didn't want to. Because I did hear there was a guy, maybe he was a disgruntled ex-employee of Pfizer or something. And this was a bunch of years ago, and he said that they knew, that these vaccinations would have after effects that could be anywhere from a year to 6 years after the people were injected with this shit. You see, normally they test products for about 8 years. Serious products, they tested for 8 years before they put it on the market. But because of what was happening with the COVID, they had to get this out, and the company that were selling these drugs, vaccinations, were making, it was a marvelous opportunity to make billions and billions of dollars. And they couldn't refrain from doing that. So they pushed the FDA, and whatever they did, sliced them a piece of the pie, whatever they did, and said, we're going to get this on the market. And I only wish they had other life-saving drugs that were experimental that they would get on the market for certain cancers for people and things like that, and before they die. But that's the thing, they pushed this product, they pushed the COVID vaccine, and it was not thoroughly tested, and you need something like 8 years. I'm not 100% sure, but I come up with that figure that before they put it on the market, it's about 8 years. And well, I don't want to do it again. I made it to my age, man. I want to stay around a little bit longer, you know. I was all against it. God, I was thinking of a lady in the CVS pharmacy to pay her a few bucks to say, hey, make it look like you're giving me the injection, but don't inject me. But I couldn't do that. They wouldn't fall for that. So, I mean, you could. Here's a 50 spot. Just make believe you injected me. Put on a card that I got injected. They don't want to lose their job doing something like that. I would have gone that far. I really would have. Because I really didn't want to get the shots. But, nah, I couldn't get away with that. I won't chance that. But my new prophecy is going to be that there's going to be another recurring virus. I think it's going to be a variation of the COVID. The COVID had this capacity to or ability to change, and a lot of viruses can change into something else. That's why they're scary. Oh, I want to emphasize something to you. I don't want to get into a health show, but it's just a little bit of advice to some people here, especially if you're getting older. I talked about this before, but I just want you to listen to me on this, okay? Listen up. Those of you, I can't emphasize this more. What you cook with, don't use any seed oil or vegetable oil. If you have to use anything, you could use some canola. Don't overuse it. And I will give you 100% verification that you want to visit the Philippines or you're living here, let me tell you something. This is for real. And listen carefully. They use the cheapest seed or vegetable oil, almost calendaria stores, selling food. And not only is it dangerous for the fact that I'm not sure why I'm getting these disturbances on my signal. Pardon me for that. I'm not sure why it's happening. Not only that, but it's very toxic and very cancerous. I know you want to, do like they do. You want to do like they do in another country. Be one of the people, eat what they eat. I'm afraid to tell you, but you can't. I can't even tell you how volatile that stuff is in a short period of time will do to your arteries. It is that bad. It's like a sugar, in a sense of how powerful a sugar is on your metabolics. Do not use vegetable oil to cook with. Now, here's something interesting. I push olive oil, but I don't suggest to cook with olive oil. It's better than the others, but just hear me out. Hear me out. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Olive oil is meant to be used on salads and after food is cooked, so don't fry with it though. You could add it to already cooked food. So keep that in mind. Free advice. I don't charge anything on my show. We don't make money on here. I will tell you that you are fighting with your mortality when you fry your foods. Air fry it if at all possible. Throw all your fucking oil out. That's vegetable oils, seed oils. Give them away if you have to, but you're not helping somebody else to do that. But out here, they don't care anyway. Just get rid of it. Just trust me if you never trusted me before. There's been more research that just came out. I was just reading it or listening to it today on a video. Throw away your vegetable oils and seed oils. Just get rid of them. And don't, repeat, don't. You want to be like the locals. Don't eat from a calendaria. That oil has been sitting there maybe for 6 months because they want to save money on buying oil. Not only is there contaminants in it from 6 months that it breaks down, but it turns into cancerous, toxic material. and they're pushing it on you and having you eat it. Now you want to be like a local, well, that's up to you. But you got to, and then the other thing too, and I got to slip this in, and I won't talk about the health issues. Oh my God, fatty liver. They said that over 30% or more of everyone in the world has got fatty liver. There's a lot of telltale signs too. Now this is not related to cirrhosis of the liver as far as drinking. This is a talking about the non-alcohol related fatty liver, which is dangerous. If you drink on top of that, you're in big ass trouble. You know, people like Kevin who carry around all that weight, he didn't have to have his weight to have a heat stroke, but it didn't help him when he had his heat stroke the other day. Okay? It didn't help him at all. I can't emphasize this enough about that issue with weight, obesity. Look at Ricky. He could be actually dead for all I know. I doubt it, but would I be surprised if it turned out to be true? It wasn't just a rumor? I'm going to tell you straight up. No, no. I would not be surprised at all. I would not be surprised. No, coconut, no. That is not good for you. My brother used to use it. I read up on it because he had a lot of his own problems. Cooking with that is terrible. You use it in your hair to make a nice sheen. That's it. Leave it alone. Throw it out. Throw it out. It's not just in moderation. It doesn't take much. A couple of days back, Pennywise, he was going to get his visa renewed in a nearby Cambodia, I think. He had to wait outside for like 3 hours. You know how that shit works, right? And I don't, he really wasn't hydrated. Probably sweating to death. He probably got to the point where no more sweat was coming out, nothing to cool him down. He got dizzy and fell to the ground, right down to the ground. Oh yeah, very dangerous situation for him. He came on his show, talked about it. Has nothing to do with my weight, and I argued that. Well, on my show I did anyway. His weight had a lot to do with it because too much heart demands on the heart. Don't have to listen to me though. I'm never right? Although people are dying, dropping like flies, I'm never right. Okay, whatever, but look at Ricky's face. He's blown up. No, it's not good. No, it's not good. I'll tell you what, people do use lard. My parents used to use that now and then. I use butter in moderation because I'll be honest with you, I like the flavor of butter. When I make eggs, I'm telling you the truth. If I'm eating fruit, make some broccoli and vegetables, I like the taste of butter on it. Okay, same as my pancakes. And you can, here's the deal. Don't worry too much about the cholesterol because it's all a phallus to a point. Unless your fucking triglyceride numbers are through the roof, that's a different story. Your liver, your brain, a lot of functions need the cholesterol. We actually need it. Unless your numbers are well over 300, 400, then you might have a problem. But it's not something you have to worry about. Yes, moderation, yes, but they think that eggs are bad for you, and they're not. They're most complete foods you could ever eat in your life. Too many of anything, yes, is bad. But eggs contain a lot of things that are good for you, and you actually need that cholesterol. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a health show, though we're talking about something similar, people dropping like flies and, so forth, So, just, and really I could have done a show on that today alone, just on that. I was reading very thoroughly. This one guy, he's an Asian guy, an American guy, but I don't know if he's Asian. He's a doctor and he does some show. I can't think of his freaking name. I come into him accidentally every now and then. And this guy really is a deep research doctor. And he was talking about this stuff with cholesterol. He was talking about this stuff with the oils. And maybe if I could find his show, I'll get a link out there. But what he has to say about this is really scary shit. And you'd be shitting your pants if you've been frying with oil all this time. Hey, look, dudes. You could feel healthy, okay? You could feel like $1 million. It doesn't mean that what's going on inside your arteries or anywhere else, anything good is happening. Your liver, especially if you drink, but you don't have to drink. If you have any over your weight, you're going to get what they call a fatty liver. It's a non-alcohol related disease of your liver. You don't have to be drinking alcohol, but if you're drinking on top of that and you have a fatty liver, then you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble. I told you, these people are dropping like flies. Every YouTuber that you see out there that you know for a fact is very overweight, their longevity is not going to be as long as they would like it to be. Let's put it this way. I don't eat no ghee. I don't know. Never ate. No. Well, Rickshaw's kind of hanging in there. He's got myeloma cancer, and the longest life expectancy, even with treatment, is maybe 5 years. It's his chemotherapy and disease itself has really destroyed his kidneys. So he's always on the verge of being on a kidney machine for dialysis. He's always very close to being on that. He's not in good shape, and the theory is from one guy, and I agree with it. Now, I'm not going to do a whole show on this, but the chemotherapy and the radiation is what's actually killing you. You wind up dying of pneumonia. You might have cancer, but you might wind up dying of pneumonia. Your defenses go down, and the chemotherapy is killing all the good cells in your body as well as the bad. Unless you have very directive type of therapy, and that's more likely radiation, where they can be more directed to a particular spot instead of all over your body. You can't radiate your body that way, and you certainly can't put a poison. The most horrible poison is chemotherapy, which will kill every good cell in your body, destroy your organs. So you got to think, do you want to prolong the agony of your death, or do you want to hang in a little more for your family and suffer? It's according to how bad, what stage cancer you have. And that's a choice you got to make. There are natural things you can do for yourself that might help. Get your body a little more alkaline. Stay absolutely away from any sugar, because cancer feeds on sugar, like kids to a lollipop or a kid to a Slurpee in 7-Eleven. You'd have to be completely off sugar, okay? And you have to kind of get your body balanced, the pH to a proper level, and eat the kind of foods that provide antioxidants to help your cell structure. That's about all I can tell you with my knowledge. But if I ever developed cancer of some sort, I will tell you right off that I'm not going to get chemotherapy. Might as well just shoot me in the head and get it over with, because chemotherapy is not a very directed. I talked to you about a procedure that kind of wakes up a cancer that's in hiding, and they peek, the cancer cells peek their little heads out when you give it a small dose of chemo, and the cancer cells react to it, and they come out from hiding. And then when they come out from hiding, then your body automatically, your killer cells, go right after that cancer cell naturally. But it's a way of waking them up from hiding. They're hiding in your body. You may not know it's there. And the doctors are telling you have cancer from images, but the cancer itself hides from the T cells and the killer cells in your body. So you want to get the bad boy cells to expose themselves, okay? And how you do that is you give them a low dose of chemo or radiation, which takes them out of hiding. And when they come out of hiding, your body, the killer cells, as we can refer them to, and the and so forth, T cells and so forth, will recognize it and go on the attack naturally. So if you or anybody knows that they have cancer, tell them to explore other options. The chemo is just going to kill you. Okay? There you go. It'll just kill you. Some people have stage 4, and They want to live longer to be with their family, but here's the question you have to ask yourself. How you hanging in there with your stage 4? Are you in excruciating pain all the time? If you're not, okay, you want to live longer. I say, why prolong the agony if you're going to be in so much pain? Because your family is suffering in pain too, watching you go through pain. Okay, so let's say that you're in a lot of pain, and they're basically just knocking you out with very strong painkillers. You're practically comatose with that. You're not going to feel the pain, but you're still not alive. And you're not going to interact with your family and the rest of the world if you're kept almost comatose with all that really strong medicine. So, is it worth taking all that medicine when you're just going to lay there asleep and it's not like you're alive at all and you can't interact with your family? Those are things that you have to think about. Now, hopefully, nobody out here gets cancer. I've had skin cancer, mild, near my nose, but in fact, I got to check that out all the time. Um, None of that's funny. I don't wish cancer on anybody or a heart attack. Nobody. I don't care who you are. Be you a troll or not be a troll. I don't wish that on anybody. Yeah. But Rick Shaw is playing with numbers right now. My mom had lung cancer and she went into a remission. And that was during the time I went to court in Yonkers, New York. Anyway, she accompanied me and she swears that she was in remission. But then, no, it hit her hard and she was pounded by the cancer that spread. And she didn't actually die of the cancer. She died of pneumonia, which couldn't be treated because of her cancer and how far gone she was. They basically let her suffocate to death in her lungs, so liquid in there. It wasn't a good death for her. So I wish you all the best in the health department out there. I really do. But, you have a certain responsibility to yourself. You do. You do. Right? Yeah. Father Frank here. I know Dr. Frank either. No doctor, my friends. You too can educate yourself. Look it up. Look up the medicines you take. Even for my dog, I gave her a small dose of 1 milliliter of prednisone for her between her feet going on, in a syringe, and by the vet's advice. And the problem is, down to give dog prednisone for inflammation and all these hot spots and all that, it messes with too many of the metabolics in the body. It actually could become dangerous. And even only a couple of days of being on that, you can't just take the dog off that. Instead, you go the next day, take half the dose, take that for a while, then even decrease that dose, even for a couple of days that you had the dog on it. You can't take them off like that because the adrenal glands are affected by this. My dog pants a lot because it's affecting her. It can make her a little agitated, makes her pant because she's overheating because of the adrenal gland and all that stuff. Um, she was playing like crazy with her pal, my other dog, and I never see her doing that. Restlessness, and I hate drugs of any kind. I just hate drugs of any kind. I really don't like drugs of any kind. So, let that be said, let it be known. I don't. You start some things that you can't just jump off it, man. It's a long process, and you have to carefully wean yourself off even prescription drugs. It's not an easy task, and I'm the one that knows that very well. It's not fun. Side effects. Some people go into seizures. You got to watch what you're taking. You got to watch what you're giving, even to your pet. You got to study what you're giving. Look at the signs of your pet, how they're acting emotionally and otherwise. And to yourself. Did you take a medicine that you've had a side reaction to it somehow? Talk to your physician about that. Maybe that's not the medicine for you. I don't know where I even started this show. I was talking about how people were just, I don't know, man. What's happening with all these trolls? I think they're all on guard right now, knowing what's been going on. And look at everybody that got the karma. Barry in jail, and then Fazio dying, and everybody else who died, and Flying Circus getting a stroke, Kevin getting a heat stroke, possibility of the death of Ricky. Who knows about that? Ed Lippett, Johnny Warrior. The list goes on, man. And there was a couple of others too, you know. A number of others actually, YouTubers that died. They weren't all trolls of mine, but the majority of who I mentioned are trolls, and I don't think they're in great health, my friends. I just don't think they are. I'm not magically delicious here. And I'm not a wizard. But I tell you, it's uncanny how this is happening to the very people that give me a hard time. If I were them, I would just kind of, I don't know, just kind of step back a little bit, because I don't know, my prophecies are coming true. And I've talked about every one of these people before these things ever happened to them. I'm no Carrie here. I used to say that. I'm no Carrie. But I'll tell you what, man, it's kind of scary. El Savino says, well, I would say most of them are well missed things have gotten quiet. Most of them are well missed things have gotten quiet. I think that's what we need on YouTube, is more quiet, so people can vlog and be what they want to be and do what they need to do without being attacked by everyone all the time. And the more they attack, I think the karma is hitting them even harder. Because I have a couple of people on my list here that I know maybe even in 2025, before it's over, are going to have a medical event. How do I know this? I don't know. Some of it is just common sense, their obesity and their health habits, their eating habits. But, you know, I've been listening to these people and watching them for such a long time, some of them, and I know so much about them, their eating habits, how much they eat, the kind of food they eat, their weight, their height. I almost feel like I'm part of their physiology. I'm serious. I kind of know what's going on with the cells in their body. I don't know how I know this. I told you, it's strange. I know what's building up in their arteries and which arteries. I don't know how I know this shit. It's just that I understand the human body more than the average person does on here. I've studied actually anatomy in school too. I left that out. Biology and anatomy. And I've always had an interest in such, because, you know, I do have a body and I do have all these parts in my body, so I learned a lot about it. I'm just saying, man, if you don't believe in karma, start fucking believing in it, man, because from what I'm seeing from here, what I've been hearing in the past several years, it's crazy, man. Shit's happening. Shit's really happening to these people. Soon they're all going to be gone. I might be gone too, for all you know. I never leave myself out. You know me. I never leave myself out of the action. But I would not be surprised that I outlive these people that are actually younger than me. I mean, there's no guarantee on that. But I have a good feeling that I will outlive those that are even as much as 20 years younger than me. I just got that feeling. Got that natural feeling. Sex you up. That sexual feeling. Who sung that song? Some black dude. Anyway, I don't know where I come up with this shit. But I gotta tell you, that one Duran Duran song is becoming problematic for me. There's one song that I gotta tell you, it's been embedded in my head. And I'm not shitting you. And sometimes something gets in your head, you can't get it out. It's a good song, but by Duran Duran. But you know, it gets to you. Who's that now? Oh, Sofa King, you're back. Finally, I've been on enough, Sofa King. You couldn't miss me. Finally caught a live stream. Been a while. Yeah. Pennywise says, Frank, did you get to dissect a human cadaver? I did in college during an anatomy class. No, we were. It was in a community college actually, in Shoreline Community College in Seattle, biology and anatomy. No, I've actually had a human brain in my hand. I've had a human spine, things like that. Of course, they start you off, even in high school, some dissecting frogs and fish, taking the liver out. I did a good job of that as a kid. I remember that. They commended me for it. But no, I've actually held the human brain in my, well, it was in a tray, but, and a human spine. What else? No, that was about it. That was gross enough. So, I mean, I didn't mind looking at it, now that it wasn't attached to a human body, but if it was like a human body that's got crushed or something, their brain was all showing and all, I mean, that would be kind of gross to me, you know. Yeah. Uh, so for Frank has held the brain in his, I did, man. Barry doesn't even have a brain in his skull. Oh my God. I guess the dissect a pig, that was pretty interesting. No, I never did that. Actually, a lot of the medical students, well, they do have to work around a cadaver, and a lot of them, it's a little much for them. I heard. It's always better when you don't see their face, cover their face up, I guess. But after a while, it becomes commonplace to you because you're going to have to operate on people if you're going to be a surgeon. But you have to know what the parts look like in the body and so forth and where they're located. And you got to kind of remember, this is not an accident scene, or maybe these people might have died in an accident and using their body for science, but which happens a lot. Uh, I don't think, there's some medical students that even faint at the. They got to understand when cutting into a body or something, they're not feeling anything. There's no pain when you're dead. So you got to look at it that way anyway, okay? Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Uh, my eyes. I'd be interested in knowing your opinion about current. I got to put my damn glasses in my right eye about life opinion about Eli's. Who's Eli? Content and life coach. Is it the YouTuber? I don't know. I'm not familiar with stuff. Frank, is Barry still in detention, or has he flown back to Alabama? Like Ricky? No, he's still there. He's still there. Has your attorney confirmed his whereabouts? No, but the attorney told me that there's no way he can get out of there. He has to pay the court and me. It's the only way he's getting out. There's no special privilege for him. That's the only way he's going to get out of there and go home. That's it. There's no question about it. Well, he's in Billy Bid now. I don't know where you've been for a while, Sofa King, but Barry went from Indowie for 2 years, then went into Big Kitan, a horrible prison, for a month. Then they threw him into Billy Bid, which is worse than Big Kitan. GNA 2. I don't remember all the names. There's some doctor dudes that I listen to here and there, only certain ones. I don't listen to these wannabe doctors that are chiropractors. They're calling themselves doctors, and it really irritates the shit out of me. And there's a number of Dr. Berg, and that's one of them, and it just irritates the hell out of me. And it's a commercial channel, really. They're basically endorsing vitamins and supplements, and that's all they're all about. These guys are fucking chiropractors, which I don't really believe in. And they call themselves doctors, and there should be a law against that. Well, yeah, they call themselves whatever they want to call them, but don't call yourself doctor. You could call yourself a life coach if you have some qualifications or you have a lot of knowledge. I mean, I have a lot of knowledge about different things. Not a lot. I have plenty, but not everything. I don't know everything medically. I don't. I'm not a doctor. I don't study I just read things like a lot of people do on YouTube, and let's just research it. That's all. I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know, and I'm never going to know. Well, it's better to call yourself a life coach than being a chiropractor and calling yourself a doctor. I have a major problem with that. Major problem with that. It just irritates me. Well, we've been on here less than an hour. Frank doesn't call himself a doctor. Good to be. I'm not a doctor. You could do the same goddamn thing that I do, man. You could read, right? That's all. That's all I do. Just not hard. Unless some people can't read, they're illiterate, but I could read quite well, thank you, you know? And you think I'm on YouTube all the time. Well, I am. But not necessarily as you think right here on the Philippines genre thing on here. Hello, what's going on, ladies? Got guests over here. I'm having one of these little cake things. I gotta give in to something here. Sorry, but I have to do that.
What you doing?
I'm stealing one of these little sugar mamas here.
Yeah, you can.
Water tops. That's right. I'm going to have sugar. Here we go.
What the taps?
I'm going against my own advice, but I do now and then. I admit it. I do. I do. I get a little sweets, taste for sweets every now and again. Don't jump on me. Don't jump on me. I told you I'm not perfect. Not perfect. Yeah, read and self-educate. That's all you have to do, man. No, I'm not pretending I'm a doctor. If I had any sensibility, certain things I wouldn't do with myself, right? And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. There you go. I mean, seriously. Doing the best I can with what I got. Got that sexual feeling. Oh boy, something about that too. Oh my, oh my. Look, you guys don't even realize what's happening with you, do you? You don't. Lost most of your goddamn testosterone. I'm not going to go into details of what to expect, but I'll tell you something. Man. Experience things you haven't experienced before. I'm not talking even about a fucking erection. There's a lot of things involved with low testosterone. Ain't that something? Oh, it's horrible. It's called the water top. It's terrible. Water top. It's terrible. But I can't help it. I had a sugar tooth. I had a need. This is the kind of crap that's all you're going to find in the stores in the Philippines. And lucky I don't give in to them all the time. I'd be in really a bad shape. Yeah, it's a cupcake snack. Yeah. I don't advise it. I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't advise it at all. We shouldn't have any sugar in our body from shit like this. And if you happen to have cancer cells that are hiding and you don't, I'm going to say, give me all the sugar, baby. I'll be your sugar mama. Give me all the sugar you can, big boy. And we're going to live and thrive on it. And we're going to love it. And we're going to grow. And we're going to kill you. If you guys are drinking, stop fucking drinking. Unless you're going to drink a couple glasses of wine per day, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you how fucking toxic alcohol is. It is so fucking toxic, and I have to use these words. You don't have a fucking clue how toxic alcohol is to everything in your system, not just your liver. You have no clue unless you read it yourself. Again, you don't have to listen to me. Some people do, some people don't. It's okay either way. I just blurt it out. You either learn from things I tell you or you don't. But yeah, I'm not perfect in my diet. Sometimes we didn't do any shopping and I have something around. I got to eat something. Had a good dinner, but I didn't have shit for lunch because we didn't buy anything today. You know what I had for lunch? I had some fucking French fries. I put a little salt on it. Seriously, I had fucking French fries for lunch. Because what I had was not defrosted. I had to cook something, wait, defrosted. And I was hungry for something, so I had freaking French fries. You don't want that either. Look, I'm not perfect in my diet. I'm not perfect. But I do have a better diet than the average person, I would say. That's someone's saving grace, if I should use that word without exploding into fire. But yeah, I get a sweet tooth. I absolutely do. If somebody came in here with some really good homemade chocolate chip cookies, I say, fuck the sugar, man. I get my almond milk, dunk it in there. I'd be eating those bad boys. Just don't come around me with no macadamia nut cookies. Don't come around me with no good homemade type, quality type chocolate chip cookies. That's it. I'm done. It's all over. You just don't come near me with that. I don't want to have it around the house because I know goddamn well. Just like when sometimes her daughters or whoever visit here, they're always bringing some freaking donuts here. And when there's nothing around to eat the snack on, you think I'm not checking out those damn donuts? I'm always going to have at least one of them. Maybe even two. I always tell them, don't bring any donuts over here, man. Sour cream fries. Potato corner flavored. Potatoes, tartar sauce. It's a Northwest thing, Pacific Northwest thing. A lot of people in the Northwest, Washington State, place like that, we enjoyed our French fries with some good tartar sauce. And we didn't dip it in ketchup. That's pretty standard to dip your fries in ketchup, but no, for me, it's always been tartar sauce. If you find some really good tartar sauce. Yeah. The other thing I like, not necessarily with potatoes, but I like very spicy horseradish. Not really with potatoes. You can use what anything you want, really. But I'll tell you what, you get yourself a little bowl of sesame seeds. You know where I'm going with this. I don't eat pork, but if you ate pork especially, I use it with beef, even chicken, but beef, it works real well, a chunk of beef. Dunk that fucking piece of beef, or whatever, or pork, whatever your choice is. Damn, brother. Dunk it in some kind of a hot sauce, I would just go and get that shit, dunk it in there and then cover it with sesame seeds, and boy, that really tastes good. That really tastes good. Yeah, creamy horseradish. Oh yeah. I like horseradish. It's kind of challenging to me, and I like a challenge, and obviously so. But horseradish, man, you just dip your meat into that horseradish and then cover it with sesame seeds. Oh man, I even like sesame seeds on toast or something too. I mean, that taste is just, I really love it. I try not to eat too many seeds. It's not good. You get diverticulitis sometimes if you eat too much seeds. Diverticulitis, you don't want that. I know, Frank, you might as well go and eat grass the way you talk. I know how some of you are probably thinking. You might as well just eat grass, Frank, because you're afraid to touch this, you're afraid to touch that. Well, just that I've gotten a little older, and this is all part of my own plan on longevity, at least helping with it. I still have a bad habit, but I'm kind of sort of sneaking around it just a little bit. I'm not playing fair with it. keeping my cells strong and functioning and my immune system strong, and that's the whole point. Nothing more than that. That's why I do what I do, because I realized I did a wrong for so many years, and this is my way. It's kind of like an insurance policy of some sort, to some degree. Oh, please, you're making me hungry now. I'm not a fish person, but let me tell you something. We had a chain store in the Northwest called Ivers, Ivars, right? Oh my gosh. Ivers used to use this good cod, and you'd have that malt sauce with it, that's made with vinegar and stuff. You'd have the malt sauce with that, and you'd have the most fantastic fries that went with the breaded fish, and you dunk your fries into the tartar, you dunk your fish into the tartar sauce, or just put a little bit of that malt liquid onto your fish, and it was delicious. And I'm not a big fish lover, but I used to go to Ivers as often as I could. Whenever I was down to the waterfront or something, there's always an Ivers near the waterfront. They always picked it specifically near the waterfront, And that was some good stuff, man. If you could find a place that actually uses some quality fish, like maybe a whitefish would work, but cod is your best choice, of course. You've eaten at Ivers when? Oh, you did. Do you like it there? Yeah, I wish I had something like that around here, man. I know where I'd be going. I'd be eating a lot more fish. It's still not perfect. You don't know what they got in there. I mean, you're taking a chance. Let's just face the fact, guys. You're taking a chance with just about every goddamn thing you eat these days. That's why I was laughing at Jay, because Jay was making fun of me, saying, "Oh, Frank eats all these processed foods and shit." Yeah, I do eat a number of it. He's right. But this is coming from a man who chain smokes and drinks like a fish. And he's worried about preservatives. And that's why I was laughing when I heard that from Jay. I was just laughing. Yeah, we just lack the good places out here. I don't think Ivers is going to make it all the way to a different country, Just like, White Castle. Oh my God, if I had a White Castle, that might be dangerous for me. But what they're charging these days, when I was a kid, talking about a nickel a piece. Not even that. I told you, I go to my grandmother's house a lot. She lived in the Bronx. And whenever we visited there, she knew. She always had a few bucks waiting for me. Here, Frankie, go to White Castle, go get a bag of burgers. I thought it was all for me. I would have eaten the whole damn bag of the White Castle burgers. It's for all of us, Frankie, not just for you, but I would want to eat the whole damn thing. And of course, it's not much of a burger. Now they call them sliders. And I don't know really where that terminology ever came in. I never grew up calling anything sliders. Now these miniature hamburgers they call them sliders now. Even on the White Castle boxes, they're calling them hamburger sliders. When did that terminology come in? Because I don't ever remember ever hearing something called a slider. Yeah, sliders. I don't use that terminology. Oh, on Aurora Avenue, Highway 99? Wait a minute now. More so down toward the heart of the city of Seattle, you might have. That was, you'd have to be going off 99, Aurora Avenue, to get there. Actually, they had them down there in the waterfront, but they had them at certain different locations. Then they had them nearby towns like Edmonds, Edmonds, and nearby towns. They also had that anywhere with a waterfront, because it was, kind of went with the situation when you opened the store near the waterfront. Had that nautical feeling and all that shit, and eating fish, and made you want to eat fish, I grew up in White Castle. Loved White Castle. They sell them in the stores here. Not locally, but what they're charging for 6 little sliders, as you call them. Oh my God, what were they charging? Like, I don't know, $10 a box or something for that? Or more? at SNR and wherever you could find it. They sell them here now at SNR. But I just refuse to buy them. I'm just stubborn. Not that I can't afford it. I just, it's a political thing with me, whatever you want to call it. It's just I refuse. I used to pay fucking 5 cents a piece or less for these goddamn things. It's crazy. Like a can of chicken noodle soup these days. Shit, you used to get that as a kid. Of course, that's a long time ago, Frankie boy. Of course, things were cheaper when you were a kid growing up. Come to reality, Frank. Yeah, I know that. I understand that. I used to say that to my brother. He goes, well, Frank, that was a long time ago. You used to get top ramen. Shit, you used to get 10 of those, 8 of them for $1. 8 of the top ramen. College students lived on that shit. They couldn't afford anything else. You get it for 8 for $1 for top ramen. You get canned soup like Campbell's chicken soup, which has nothing in it, really. You get, at the worst, 3 cans for $1. Now they're charging, like, if you buy them out here, you could be paying $4 for a can of chicken noodle soup, dudes. Crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Well, yeah, come to the Philippines, a very affordable place. Okay, maybe one time it was. Not anymore, pals. But yeah, you're making me hungry now. Oh my God, an Ivar's fish fillet from Ivar's. Fish sandwich from Ivar's with their delectable fries. Oh, man. Shit. Can't get the goods. What they do have in Cebu. I mean, I believe they do have some places that sell fish and chips. I don't know how good they are. I guess I haven't had it yet out here in Seattle. God, I'm thinking I'm in here in fucking Philippines. There's supposed to be places that sell that, but, what kind of fish are they using? They're not going to use good cod. They're going to use some fucking minced fish meat, mixture of whatever's left over from something, I want the real thing, Anyway, I've been on here for a while, boys and girls, about an hour and 8 minutes, giving you and the trolls and a little something to listen to. But I gotta, take care of the rest of my evening here. Gotta go to Cebu tomorrow. Gotta get my beauty sleep, God damn it, I forgot to take my collagen today. I could live without it for a day. What am I watching here? What is on TV? What is the name of this? Oh, Mission Impossible. Oh, it's their best scene. Come across this shit. Sometimes it's worth watching. Like they've had Bronson from like Death Wish, right? And you can't find it on here, man, on Netflix or YouTube, really. You have to pay a premium on it or something or whatever. But I'd seen shows that were just as good, and it was showing all the kill scenes in there with the Death Wish. That's all that was important about the movie anyway. All the other stuff is just fluff. The same thing they did with Clint Eastwood. They've done this with a lot of other actors in some of their bigger movies. You can't see it on YouTube or Netflix unless you want to rent it or pay for it or something like that. So I don't know. I believe me, it's almost a comedy if you would actually watch me in my chair with the remote in my hand. I told Gilda if I die, stuff me, have me with that remote in my hand on the chair. I'll be there forever. Get me taxidermied or whatever. That would be kind of scary. Some people have done that. There's a guy who, I don't know how the law even allowed it. He had his wife in a glass table next to his sofa and preserved and whatever, dressed up nice and preserved. Old guy, he loved his wife. He loved his wife that much. He didn't want to let her go. I think a woman did that with her husband too. Kind of, bizarro world stuff, But this old woman or this old guy, it was the old guy, His companion is for like 60 years, perhaps. And he couldn't live without her. And he still feel shit, right? Bizarro stuff. I don't think the health department or any division of that would approve of that stuff. I don't think you could just keep a dead body in your house, brother. It's preserved. You could do that with animals, moose heads, all that crazy stuff. But I don't think they allow that anymore. I don't know about it, but imagine just stuffing your. Some people do it with their dogs. I guess they allow that. I think that's pretty common. It's well fairly common. Not everybody's dog that dies, they stuff them and put them in a room. But some people do. Well, I mean, if you could hang a deer head or something, or a lion head or whatever on your wall, I don't see any reason you can't have your dog, if you want to pay that kind of money, go see a taxidermist and do that. But I don't think I'd want to be make a wax dummy, like the Hall of Wax, Make me out of wax. No, this is tropical. I'd probably melt. That's just it. Okay, you've been swell, guys. Hope you learned again something on my show. You gotta stop doing this, man. It's too much. Too much. God dang. At least you guys hang in there, 15 people, 13. You hang in there to listen to the show. I know who's listening. Oh, believe me, I know who's listening. It's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's good. Talking about some little reminiscing, Ivers, White Castle, and a lot of other topics, all in one show. Where do you get something like this? You just don't. Face it, you just don't. Now, to top this off, or to end this, no, I don't know what's going on with Ricky. It's probably just another troll who wanted to get word around that Ricky croaked after he took. I mean, it does sound like a unlikely story, but maybe likely because it's true. You take Viagra, it'll mess with your blood pressure, up or down. And if he's that out of shape, and he proceeds to have sex, but Viagra, read about it. Just read about it. I think it takes about 45 minutes to an hour or something to be effective, but I don't know. It, in his case, if that would have happened, yeah, he'd really have to be out of shape because I don't think you should be taking. He might have some other heart problems that he don't know about. He has high blood pressure. That's pretty obvious, and it's been told and proved. But it may have had other heart issues. If something really did happen to Ricky, I mean, it's inevitable. It's going to happen, but it's just about It's not an if. It's when. And if it really happened, then I would understand why. I'm doubting it did happen, but it's just another rumor. He'll be on probably tomorrow or something, but I could see why that would happen because he really is out of shape, and Big Kevin's still out of shape too. He's not out of the woods. And I can name a number of people on here that are probably scratching their heads right now, a little bit worried because I've been talking about this for the past several weeks, haven't I? Now people are stroking out and all kinds of shit. They're starting to wonder, am I next? Does Frank have any magical powers? Is he a prophet? Is a prophecy going to come true? You never know. Just trying to keep myself alive. I'm not worried about anybody else, really. That being said, you've been a swell audience. Thanks for listening. We'll keep this one on. Thank you very much, folks. We'll catch you next time. If there is a next time. Oh, the envy and the jealousy. Snikko can't take it. Snikko talking about what a bad father. And he's saying that the house belonged half to my brother. Snikko, you're getting very jealous. Are you running out of ammunition? Look, Snikko, let me tell you something. I was not no street drugs or any shit like that you were into, bud. Now all of a sudden, later on, one of your kids comes forward that's been living at your house, now with the grandkid, and now she went out on her own. You didn't reconciliate with anybody else. Where were you, Snikko, when you were doing your drugs? You didn't have custody of your kids. You weren't raising your kids, Snikko. Hardly. So talk about Father of the Year award. It wouldn't go to you, I'll tell you that much. I wasn't into drugs and alcohol like you, bud. You try to cover up your mud tracks all you want, but it's not going to work with me or anybody else. Yeah, I was a damn good father. You're damn right I was. Damn right. Damn fucking right. I should win a Father's Day award. But you, Snikko, you certainly didn't win a Father's Day award. I was not into no fucking street drugs and drinking and all that shit. Well, this is stuff that you admitted. So am I far from the truth, or am I not? I happened to catch Snikko's show. I didn't know he had one on. I don't exactly watch his channel much when he does a show. But he's no Father of the Year, I'll tell you that. Snikko has a very dark, ugly past that he doesn't want to talk about, but he sure as hell likes to come on and tell me what mine was. I don't know. Got my own house here in the Philippines. We're living well, and yes, it was my house in Hawaii. You turd ball. But he doesn't want to admit to the fact that I owned a house in Hawaii. It just really bothers him so much. He has to say, "Oh, you milked your brother." Milked my brother? No, my brother milked me. I gave quite a bit to my brother. Thank you, Snikko. You know, my brother never owned any part of my house whatsoever. I'm the one that invited him out to Hawaii in 2004 when I moved out, and the house was just about built, and he was having his troubles in Seattle like he normally did, and I invited him out to Hawaii, and I don't know if that was a great idea, but nevertheless, he lived there like 15 years. No, Snikko, sorry, but you're wrong as normal and usual. My brother had nothing to do with that house. He was a renter, period. My brother couldn't rub two nickels together. He had a lot of expenses on his own. I was always helping my brother, Snikko. Where were you in your kid's life, Snikko? When you were doing your drugs and your alcohol, which you still do anyway, the alcohol, I know that much. You're probably still a stoner, too. But no, Nikko was into the hard stuff, what most people don't know. Don't talk about being the exemplary Father of the Year, Snikko, because you weren't. You weren't even remotely close to being that. Now that your daughter decided to come into your life this past few years, but now that she found a boyfriend and had an illegitimate child, all of a sudden you're Father of the Year and Grandfather of the Year. Oh, get real, Snikko. Come on, get real. Now she moved out. So basically, you're not a Father of the Year, dude. You're not even close to being a Father of the Year. And you don't have to tell me about my past with my daughter. There's nothing I ever said on here that was untruthful. Nothing. In regards to her, regards to me. At least I tell the truth on here. I don't stretch it. I don't out and out lie about shit like Snikko does. The guy got his fucking face blown up and he's pissed off at the world, okay? He can't get a woman to be interested in him in a serious relationship. Doesn't matter where he goes, Colombia, Phil's, or whatever. All he could do is, well, pretty much what Ricky does is rent him for the night, maybe for a couple of days, or maybe if he wants to take the scooter out for a week, he'll rent him for a week just like he rents a scooter. And that's the closest thing he's ever going to come to as a girlfriend. He knows that. He's really upset at the fact that I have a woman for 9.5 years. Solid, solid as a rock. Solid relationship. 9.5 years, Snikko. 9.5 years. What's with your boys? I never hear them. I never see them coming over to visit you. What's with your other children? Your daughter was the only sheep in the flock that decided to spend any time with you. Yeah, saved a little money by staying with you and had the kid. Illegitimate, of course. They weren't married. I don't know what Snikko has to really boast about. I can't think of one thing other than his lawn. And even that's been a challenging experience for Snikko. Solid as a... Oh, I should check out the doors over time before I hit the sack, and let me disconnect here. Now, I wasn't planning on doing a show tonight before I went to bed, but I saw that Snikko had a show on here. It was today or yesterday, Father's Day, and he's trying to play the role of the great father of the year. Oh God, that's so far from the truth, Snikko, that it's actually laughable. You're not a father of the year, not even close. And what I've done for my lovely daughter is more than most of y'all would do for your kids. I'll say that much. I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't out there getting drunk all the time and taking street drugs, and I didn't do that kind of shit, man. I could say that for myself. But Snikko, nah, he can't say that. He's a jealous motherfucker is what he is. Here I'm a good-looking guy, especially for my age. I got an attractive adult woman, not a child, chewing bubble gum, prepubescent, stereotypical girlfriends of most foreigners. No, homie, don't play that game. I want to be with a respectable woman, an adult woman. I'm not looking for children. Don't even have fucking pubic hair. That's the kind of stuff he'll go for. Shame on you, Snikko. But anyway, I'm not going to be on here long because it's... Girls, come on. Come on, girls. Don't mind the cats. Let them out to go to the bathroom. No, I happened to hear Snikko's show, and I said, hey, opportunity, man. I'll definitely respond to him. Nick, worry about yourself, dude. You're not doing that well. You're really not. You're over 50 years old now. And where are you, man? Where are you? You take this interest in Philippines and shit, but when you come here, what do? Not much. You may rent a scooter. You rent the chick for the day, take her out on the scooter, and you're killing it, right? You're killing it. No, he's just another obese person that I speak of. That's right, I didn't have Snikko on the list, did I? I did not have Snikko on the list, did I? I apologize, my viewers. Snikko should be on that list, my prophecy list. Oh, he hopes I dies. Oh, man, karma hasn't been working too well for some people, Snikko. You gotta watch what you wish for. I really think you should. You're not exactly in prime shape. I don't care if you go to the gym now and then. You're a fat fuck. I met you. You're a fat fuck. You got thunder thighs that need their own zip code. Your face has been fucking blown up. Not your fault. I'm not holding that against you. I'm just saying that you're getting kind of ugly with me. But getting ugly? I don't know if that's an oxymoron, but take a look here lately, sir. You can't even smile. Because your face, not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm not being a real asshole. It's not your fault. I'm just saying aesthetically, you cannot afford to talk about me. Shit, I'm 20 years older than you. Somewhere around there. I still look better than you, Jack. Steady woman, over 9.5 years. Settled out here, have a home. And don't hold your breath as far as me being deported, Snikko. That's just wishful thinking. I'd worry about yourself. You're on the list. You're on my prophecy list. You're obese. You're not in great health and you like to drink. Your liver is like jelly. Ever think about that, Snikko? Yeah, I'd worry more about yourself. That's all I came on to say, and I'm going to go to bed with my 9.5 year long relationship woman at my side. Who's at your side tonight, Snikko? Your dog? Your blade of grass? Do you bring your blade of grass to your bed with you and say, I'm going to take good care of you, my blade of grass? She is going to sleep good tonight. Oh, I'll load her with nitrogen and chicken manure. I'll take care of you, my blade of grass. How pathetic is your life, Snikko? Don't even make judgment of mine. Yes, I have owned property, Snikko. I certainly have. That bothers you. Why does it bother you so much? Why is that, Snikko? Why does it bother you so much? You can't see somebody doing well. Well, that's because it's all a facade with you. I'm killing it. I'm killing it. How many times? You sound like Ricky. Ricky's killing himself. In fact, he might have killed himself for all I know. He could be dead. I told you, Snikko, you trolls are dropping like fucking flies. Who's stroking out? Who's dying? I mean, my prophecy's been pretty good so far, Snikko. I kind of watch what you wish for. Don't wish death on me. Guarantee that I'll outlive you. And if I got off YouTube, I'll come on later on when your health fails, and I'll do a wonderful show. And how Snikko's having all these heart problems and his weight problems, his liver's fucked up, the damage you did to his body during his druggy days. No, Nico, you have nothing to talk about with me. And my brother had nothing to do with that house. Nico? No, Snikko. My brother was a renter. That's all he was. He came out later on by invitation, and he rented from me. That's what he did, Snikko. That's what he did. Can you say you've ever owned a house in Hawaii, Snikko? No, you can't. I don't even think that's your house in Florida, in fact. I think that's your mama. Your mama. Your mama. You're so tied to her apron strings, it's embarrassing for a man your age. So don't talk shit about me, Snikko. You have nothing to talk about. You're not killing anything but yourself as well as the other trolls. You have a wonderful morning. I'm going to have a wonderful sleep tonight. Look in the mirror. Tell me what you see. You cannot afford ever to talk about me, Jack. Not one bit, Snikko.